Hello, in this video, I will explain the derivation of optimum commodity purchase or the consumption bundle that the consumer wants to purchase in case of linear preferences. Let us suppose that the utility function in case of two commodities x1 and x2 is 2x1 plus 5 times x2. So we know that the interference curve in this case will be linear. Therefore, the consumer most often consumes only one commodity out of them. So the price of first commodity in our case is again 10. The price of second commodity is 20, and the consumer's total wealth is 1000. So now to know exactly which of the commodity will be consumed by the consumer, we calculate the marginal rate of substitution first, which is simply the marginal utility of first commodity, the marginal utility of first commodity over the marginal utility of second commodity, which is 2/5. And we compare this marginal rate of substitution with the price ratio. Marginal rate of substitution is 2/5, and which is 0.4, and the price ratio in our case is 10/20, which is 0.5. So in this case, we see that marginal rate of substitution is smaller than the price ratio. So what does this mean? This means that the ratio of marginal utility is smaller than the price ratio. So this implies that marginal utility of 1 over price of 1 is smaller than marginal utility of 2 over price of 2. So clearly, $1 spent on the second commodity will provide more utility to the consumer, so the consumer will purchase the second commodity only. So therefore, we can conclude that the consumer's consumption of the first commodity will be 0. Now we can find the optimal commodity purchase. We can find the optimal commodity purchase as x1 star is 0 because it's not worth spending on the first commodity, and he spends all of his budget on the second commodity, which is wealth over P2. So this is 1000 over 20. So it is 50. So to see this intuitively, we just analyze the utility function. The utility function is 2x1 plus 5x2. So by purchasing 1 unit of x1, marginal utility of the first commodity is 2, and the marginal utility of the second commodity is 5. So in this case, the marginal utility of the second commodity is more than double. It's more than double the marginal utility of the first. But the price of second commodity is just the double of the first commodity. So it follows that if the consumer spends on the second commodity, he can obtain more than double utility, whereas he has to spend only double. Therefore, he will spend on the second commodity only. Now we can plot this in graph and look at how it makes a sense. In this graph I have plotted the budget constraint. So this line is budget constraint, and I have plotted the utility function. So if I increase the value of the utility function, or I shift the indifference curve upward. So let me shift the indifference curve upward by 20, utility 20, so utility 40, utility 60, again utility 80, utility 90, utility 100. So it will parallelly shift upward, and if I spend all the budget on X commodity only, I can purchase 1000 divided by 10, which is 100. So my utility will be only 200. So in this case, the consumer's indifference curve passes through this point, but he can go upwards to higher utility level. He spends here, if he spends here. So spending on the first commodity does not maximize his profit. Now if he spends on Y commodity or the second commodity only, he can purchase 1000 divided by 20, which is 50 units. So this is 50 times 5 is 250. So now the consumer can reach the higher indifference curve than before. This is the only highest level of utility that he can reach, because his budget line now completely lies below the indifference curve except this point. This is the highest level of utility, where he consumes 0 unit of X1 and 50 unit of X2. So thank you for watching this video, and please be connected with my channel for more videos in the future.